and welcome to the show. My name's Charlie Burton. Today I have independent trader Ava Bellos sat next to me. Ava, welcome to the programme.
Hello, Charlie. Thank you for inviting me.
That's all right, my pleasure. Thank you very much for coming down. So tell our audience a little bit about yourself. How did you get into trading? What's your professional career? And how did this all come about?
Okay, so my professional career, I'm in finance, accounting. How I got into trading, a few years ago, I attended a seminar, a trading seminar, here actually, nearby. Yes, I went along.
So, sorry, how did you what made you come across that seminar? You've been reading books and...
Yes, I mean, prior to that, I've always been a little bit interested in the markets and how they work. So I've been reading lots and lots of books. So I thought, okay, time to kind of go out there and actually see how this really works. I hadn't opened up any accounts or anything. It was all just theory at that time. So, and that's when I came about this free seminar in London that they were giving.
Heard about it on the radio?
It was actually in the Metro newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a flyer article in there. So I went along to one of the free seminars.
This is how a lot of people get involved in trading traditionally, maybe pre-social media especially, that they read an advert in the Metro or on the radio or whatever, and then go to a free, was it like a 2-hour?
It was, yes, you're absolutely right. It was a free 2-hour seminar, and then at the end of the seminar, when it was nearing, there was a course that you had to, if you were interested, you could sign up.
Okay, so I have to assume you did that.
I did take the plunge, and it was a 2-day course across a weekend. And yes, it was a full day, full 2 days. So yes. And
how many people were on that course?
Gosh, looking back at it now, thinking about it, a lot of people. 300 people plus.
300.
Yes, and that was the actual training, 2-day training.
That's a lot of people. And how do you know how much they might have been paying these as an average?
Minimum, I'd say about 3,000.
Okay. Do your maths on that one, folks. Okay. So, yeah, it's a good business.
Yes, very.
Okay, so it's a big company, obviously, that have done this training event for you. You don't need to mention names. So you went on this trading course, and it taught you, I assume, quite a lot about the basics of trading?
Yes, it did. It showed me, demonstrated me in terms of stop losses, risk-reward management, so which I read about it briefly, but truly where to place your stop loss, how to calculate your risk-reward management, and also a strategy. It was one strategy that we were taught in this course. Yeah. But yes.
And it was on stocks or forex or?
It was that particular course was just on stocks.
Was it UK stocks? I assume?
Yes, yeah, UK stocks. Yes. Yes.
And okay, so you completed that course. What happened next?
So after the 2 days of the course, as you can imagine, it was overwhelming. We went home armed with lots of big textbooks of the day in terms of the strategy and all the rules and things. I was completely lost. I remember for a week or two I didn't even open the books because I was still kind of absorbing the weekend really. Yes, and then what happened was I thought, okay, let's just go through the book and start placing some trades. So yes. Okay,
so you started placing some trades?
Yes.
I'm just doing little prompts for you because to say, well, okay, what happened next?
I felt that I was placing the trades, but then there was much more to it than just open up a broken account, putting some money in and placing trades. I quickly realised that I needed support, more sort of a coaching support.
Which they offered?
Yes, because I did get some calls a few weeks afterwards saying, if I was interested, I would be sort of supported, coached by a trader coach. And yes, I knew at that point that I needed help, I needed assistance, guidance, So yes, I jumped on the offer of having a trader coach coaching me.
Great. Okay. And so you did that for a period of time? Or?
I did that for about 18 months, I'd say, in total.
Okay. And what it was trader calls? So what were these calls? How long did they last? What were you doing?
They were once a month.
Uh-huh.
They were about between 20 minutes to half an hour. But
Okay.
in the main, about 20 minutes.
And
Calls over Skype.
right. Okay. And so how did you find that? How did you find that process? How did that help you from where you were thinking, actually, I probably need some extra assistance, just doing some one-on-one, like you're saying, with some calls there. How did you get on over that 12 months or 18 months?
I learnt a little bit more, but I thought in terms of my idea of coaching and mentoring, I had a concept of, okay, this is how it's going to be. The trades that I'd done prior to the call, which was a month before, I had some calls, trade logs, and would go through them perhaps and see where I'd gone wrong or where I could have tweaked the trade, so forth. But that wasn't the case. I had a lot of questions that I encountered, difficulties, which before the call I was ready, and I felt that my questions weren't being answered.
Why do you think that was?
I truly feel, looking back in hindsight now, I genuinely didn't feel that the trader coach were actually trading genuinely for themselves. I felt that I was just another call, a 20-minute call,
right.
And then that was it, really.
Was it a bit like, they have a script almost?
Yes, certainly, because when I was trying to share my frustrations in terms of what have I gone wrong? Why? I can't see. They weren't able to explain or aid
or
react to it. So I'd come off the call. I'm thinking, well, I've come away thinking, well, that hasn't benefited me any.
So they could teach you theory, but they didn't have the deeper understanding, deeper knowledge of the markets to be able to actually do anything more with you than teach you, go through theory stuff.
Yes. One thing I most certainly realised was in trading you have losses. That's part and parcel of what we do. And I know that when we spoke about it, if you're trading, it's like your overhead cost. That's how if it's a business, that's how you look at it in a sense. But I felt that placing a trade is quite easy. It's the psychological sort of struggles that you have. That's the biggest challenge. And I thought I needed somebody to talk me through that. And because there's so many things going through your mind and you're trying to think, well, why can't I? Why I've had 13 trade losses, and you start questioning, saying, is this really for me? Maybe not.
So actually on that point, at the maybe not point, you actually took some time out, didn't you? 6 months, whatever.
I did, because I had, at that point, I had 13 losses back to back, and I thought, this isn't for me. And I guess I didn't trade for 9 months.
So what got you back in the saddle?
I thought I need to give this another go. There are genuinely people out there who are trading for a living, and I came across yourself on the BBC documentary, and somebody else mentioned to me, and they said, check Charlie out.
Now hold on a second. You said to me earlier on, we were talking earlier on, I had a quick coffee beforehand, and you were saying you saw me on the BBC documentary and you thought, this is some sort of weirdo guy who they've projected on here, and I don't know if I could be like,
Yes.
Because they did project me like that.
After watching that BBC documentary, I thought, okay, so this is a superhuman being who's into this adrenaline sports fanatic runner. He's so strict, he's so disciplined, he's so focused. The perception I got was, wow, in order to succeed in training, I had to...
Well, I'm surprised that didn't put you off, to be honest. But anyway, it didn't put you off, so you got in touch with LPA.
I did, yes.
And things then changed from
Lovely
there.
Sam. Yes, I did. I had a conversation with her. And yes, I explained a little bit about my background, and then she mentioned that you and Kim were meeting up for a weekend. And I came along, yes.
Yeah, and you came, so you came along to, fun enough, and it was the first training course that Kim and I had done in years, and it just so happened it timed well with you, so you came along to that. But you still said, do you know what I could really do with...
Yes, I still felt that I still needed the one-to-one attention. There was a lot still knew there was a lot to learn, and also I hadn't realised until sort of in the last sort of year or so the undoing of what I had already learnt, the bad sort of behaviours in a sense. I didn't think I'd have such a challenge with that.
Yeah.
And going through the motions.
Getting rid of the baggage.
Yes.
Okay. So you got to that stage. So what we'll do is we'll come back to this in part 2 and just have a look at what happened next. So we're talking about a year or so ago now.
Yes.
And what's happened in this last year for you, the mistakes, warts and all, and where you're at right now. So we shall be back for part 2 shortly.